How you doing? I know it's not the normal setup, but it'll just have to do. I hope in some way we'll be able to, crowbar a show together today. But I mean, I appreciate you guys being here, honestly. All right, so let's see. I'm going to first bring up this. Okay, make sure that's there, and then all right, and then the thing, and then turn on that stuff. So thank you very much. Thanks for being here, everybody. Appreciate it. It's good stuff. I mean, there is. Hold on. Stop there. There we go. Hi, welcome. Good to see you. You know, it's going to be the sort of best I can do kind of show tonight. We rolled in relatively late, but I did not want this one to get too far ahead of us as we went down this road. And hi, everybody. Hi, Patrick. Hi, Big Blue. Hey, everybody. Bill, good to see you. We are indeed enjoying being home with the fam. It's a good time across the board. It's lovely. We just ate, and I'm drinking plain iced tea here in Kentucky. Yeah, so thank you, Mike. Appreciate that. Thank you so much, and welcome, everybody. I don't know why the tip jar doesn't work in Ecamm. It's right there. And I want it to be able to show that people do stuff, and it's so fun, and it doesn't. It's crap. I don't know what that is. We'll figure it out. It's a lesson. That's the thing. So, hi Primrose, how are you? I'm gonna try and update my Streamlabs software and everything in this computer tonight. Fingers crossed. I always have this as the backup, so hopefully we'll be all right. And I'll have a slightly better setup over the next 24 hours that I can kind of tweak, kind of hope it gets there, So we will try it. Oh, hi, Sarah from Melbourne. What do we eat? We had fish tacos, because it's St. Patty's Day. And by the way, happy St. Patty's Day. I was wearing green earlier. I'm now wearing a purple shirt. I have no excuse. But once the pandemic is over, feel free to kiss me. I'm Irish. If that's all right with everyone. And not only hello from me to you, but it is nice to see the hellos back and forth amongst the entire community as you guys gather in here. It's excellent. So welcome. Thanks for being here. Of course, what we are here mainly dealing with is, of course, let me shut all these little windows. I'm operating with a very small screen tonight. Let's see, and then yeah, here it is. Dun-ka-dun. Go, there we go. Trump was on Maria Bartiromo, and I'm not quite sure why she gets the honor, but he called in, and this is the famous one where supposedly he's telling people to wear masks. Yeah. And then after that, I will grab the footage of him at Mar-a-Lago trying to hide the fact that he and Lara Trump have been stealing millions from their dog charity, like the classy individuals that they are. Hey, Tom. Yeah, it's rough. This is rough. But anyway, so here she is. Oh, boy. Wait, hold on. Are we hearing audio from that? Do we hear audio? Hold on one second. I didn't see her making noise, so I got to fix one thing. Let's see. Bloop. There we go. Oh, okay. Ooh, that's not good. That's weird. Clearly, something's wonky. One second. Make sure there we go. Make this go through here. And then, does she sound like...
Stopped short of calling it a crisis. Joining me right now with...
Yeah, by the way, the whole thing about it's a challenge, not a crisis. Is there anybody who has ever read a book on management that would, with a straight face, call anything short of an absolute emergency a crisis unless they were criticizing someone else? Does anybody do that? Does anybody go, what my administration is causing right now is a crisis? Does anybody refer to it? You refer to it as a challenge because for morale, reality, the fact that it is something that you're in charge of, come to Windsor and fix your computer. Okay. Next time I'm in Windsor, we'll do shop talk.
With reaction to that and a lot more is the 45th president of the United States.
And still using the same picture.
Donald J. Trump. Mr. President, thank you so much for being with me tonight.
He's not with you. He's on the phone. He can't be bothered. Right now he's in his PJs. He's covered in bean dip. He looks like Mr. Creosote from Monty Python's The Meaning of Life. I couldn't eat another bite. I'm absolutely stuffed.
Thank you, Maria. Thank you.
We have so much to get to.
Yeah, and so little time.
With you, President Biden's first order of business on January 20th and 21st was to overturn your policies at the border, immediately stop construction of
Well, not just that, lots of stuff.
the wall, triggering an onslaught of new illegal immigration.
They were already there. They were all parked in Mexico.
Your reaction, do you believe this would not have happened had he not overturned your policies?
Well, my policies were working better than they've ever seen on the southern border. The wall is almost complete.
We're still building it. Don't believe the hype. Don't believe what you've heard. It's going to be a wall like no one's ever walled before. So much walling is left to be done. We're walling away over here.
We just had to fix little sections, complete little sections that had to be together. We needed them in order to get the trucks back and forth from side to side.
What? Back and forth from side to... I'm sorry. Are the trucks shipping goods from Mexico to America and back, or are they doing the hokey pokey? What are you talking about? What?
Had to be together. We needed them in order to get the trucks back and forth from side to side.
You mean from different sides of the border? What is this?
But they've chosen to stop right in the middle. They could have it finished in
So they were the trucks were getting from side to side, but now they're just stuck.
a month, and it would be just magnificent. It already is magnificent what it's done in the areas where it's totally completed, but just small sections are remaining, and they should finish it. But they're destroying our country. People are coming in by the hundreds of thousands.
No, they're not. There's 3,200 some odd kids at the border, unaccompanied minors. They're the ones who are getting through. Everybody else is getting turned away. It's almost entirely unaccompanied minors that are the issue.
Young children are coming in, and
yes, and what would be your suggestion? The wall would have repelled them?
they leave their homes and they come up because they think it's going to be so wonderful, and frankly,
it isn't. America sucks. This is the new statement from Donald Trump.
our country can't handle it.
We can't handle it. We're the greatest country in the world. We're the richest country in the world. We've got the most resources and the best of everything. And honestly, we're the greatest at everything ever, but we can't handle it.
It's a crisis like we've rarely had, and certainly we've never had on the border. But
Like we've rarely had, or certainly we never had? Jesus Christ. You ever heard a man blow a tire hyperbolically? Just have a hyperbole flat?
it's going to get much worse. I mean,
Well, yeah, of course it has to.
what you're seeing now is very bad, record numbers, but it's going to get much, much worse. With a little bit of time, you'll see those numbers expand at a level like you've never seen before.
Well, you had 400 plus miles of new wall constructed.
You don't have to convince me. I saw a train and there was like 3 kids getting ready to jump on it. I mean, it was like a scene out of Midnight Run. Can I? All right. You know that there are coyotes and travel agencies running ads all over South America that say the border of America is open. What do you want to bet that if anybody bothered to investigate, they would find that the Republican Party and Trump's supporters are behind those ads, starting that stampede?
Mr. President, of course, you did a deal with Mexico to share the burden of the illegal.
Yeah, we really share the burden. What we do is when they send people over our border, we dump Canadians their way. It's just a thing.
Immigration, the Remain of Mexico policy was.
The Remain of Mexico? The Remain in Mexico, you mean? But whatever's remaining of Mexico, we all divide up like chocolate cake.
Something I know that you and Secretary Pompeo worked on for a long time. Is there any?
Yeah, they had to. Of course, they hammered away at it for a long time. They're dumb.
Way to reverse.
They kept trying and kept trying to do the same thing over and over and over again, and it didn't solve anything. And it was literally the only thing that brought the numbers down at the border was the pandemic.
So what would be your advice for the Biden administration?
Yeah, give them some advice, from a winner.
To stop the bleeding at the border.
Well, I have great respect for the president of Mexico. He's a great gentleman. We had a very good relationship.
Yeah, he still calls. To all the Trumps I've loved before, who've traveled in and out my door. I'm glad they came along. We dedicate this song to all the Trumps I've loved before.
They had 28,000 soldiers on our border while we were building the
And it's nice they kept it at a solid, even number like that.
wall. They had 28,000 soldiers not allowing people to come into our country, and they were also stopping them at their northern border by Honduras and
their northern border. I see. So, America, Mexico, Mexico's northern border.
El Salvador, Guatemala.
Yeah, just name them.
They were stopping them so they wouldn't come through Mexico, and we had it really down to a good system. And as the wall was finished, they could remove soldiers, but they still had the same 28,000. And we had a great relationship. They understood that I was playing with tariffs if they didn't do that, but we never had to do that to Mexico because the relationship that we developed was
so sweet. Yeah, so close.
It was very, very good.
Yeah, it was. I mean, especially during the pandemic when everything was falling apart and Mexicans were afraid to come here because we had more cases than Mexico did.
Very close. And we stopped what was coming into Mexico at their northern border. They stopped that, and they stopped it at our southern border. So
all right.
We had very few people coming in, and we also stopped human trafficking. When I say stopped it, made a tremendous dent like has never been made before, and also drug trafficking. So we did a lot of things, and all of that is now eroded. Today, they're coming in. You take a look. They're coming in from all foreign countries. I see they're coming in now from Yemen. They're coming in from the Middle East. They're coming in.
Yeah, Yemen is in the Middle East. That's true. They Department of Homeland Security says they come across the Canadian border more frequently. I don't know why we didn't build that wall.
From everywhere. They're dropping them off, and they're pouring into our country.
They're dropping them off. I'll pick you up at 7:30. What time's the bombing?
Country. It's a disgrace. They're going to destroy our country if they don't do something about it.
Yeah, we've been talking a lot about this.
Yeah, they're totally going to destroy our country if we don't do something about it. It's going to be destroyed. Half a dozen people. Sorry, I have to take put a pin in that. It's my dad's phone.
And the implications there.
One moment. Thank you. I think they'll pick it up. Let's see. Can I mute that for the time being? What happens? I don't know. All right.
There are sexual assaults. Mexico's president said that
Wait, what? Hold on.
Country if they don't do something about it.
Yeah, we've been talking a lot about this and the implications. There are sexual assaults. Mexico's president said that the cartels view President Biden as the migrant president. Look, President Trump, you've had a little time now to sit back and think about
as opposed to Trump, who was the cartel president. I see.
All of this. I want to get your take on President Biden's agenda, including the border, but also this stimulus package, the idea that we are on the doorstep of much higher taxes. What would be
Are we?
the impact in your view?
Much higher. And by the way, in case you're wondering, Maria does make over $400,000 a year.
On an economy that is just beginning to recover.
Well, it was recovering under my administration twice. We got it to a level that the world has never seen before.
Well, yeah, we have. We started a deficit last year. Like, this is the same. I mean, honestly, are they just playing a tape?
We were the envy of the world, and then when we got...
No. No, we weren't. We might be the envy of, like, Myanmar and Cameroon right now.
Got hit by the, as I call it, the China virus, COVID.
Yeah. How's that working out?
It obviously went down along with every other economy, and then we were the first to get it back up. And the stock market when I left was higher, slightly higher than it was even at the prime prior to COVID. So it
Yeah, and it's higher now.
Was incredible what we were able
It's incredible what Biden's been able to do in just a couple of months.
to do. If you look at the jobs numbers, we had the all-time highest number of jobs. We had 160 million people working.
Well, okay. So he's going by the population increase, not the percentage of people actually working, because after World War II, we had 1.2% unemployment.
We were never close to that.
Well, yeah, we were.
Everything we had, African American, Asian American, Hispanic American, everybody was setting records. Women, it didn't matter. Any group was setting records. And
yeah, any group. Nazis, Proud Boys, they were setting records.
Now, when I look at what's happening, we were energy independent. Very shortly, we will no longer be energy independent.
Why? Why? Because we're not doing Canadian shale oil?
Gas prices are going up.
Yeah, because people are driving again?
At a far more rapid rate than anybody's seen in a long time.
Well, yeah, they also went down at a far more rapid rate than anybody'd seen in a long time.
Gas prices very low, and yet we had more energy jobs than we've ever had. But, when you see gas prices going...
Well, yeah, and that's why you had a glut in the market. Honest to God, like, he had to talk the Russians and the Saudis into stopping production because there was too much oil in the system. We're literally we don't need it. We were overproducing.
Going up, and they'll be going up by $1, $2, $3.
What, 7? Just pick a 9.
If you look at that, and that's it's bigger than a tax increase to the consumer. You get $1 increase in gasoline. That's bigger than a tax hike, than a big tax hike. So it's a terrible thing that's happening. And then let's talk about tax hikes.
Yeah, but it doesn't go to the government and to your fellow taxpayers and to better the country. It just goes to oil companies. It's a product. You have to have it. The idea would be let's get off of it.
They'll be raising taxes at the highest number that we've ever
seen and anybody's seen in quite some time and maybe forever, and probably that even worse than what you think.
And it'll be the biggest tax increase in the history of our country.
No, it won't.
To pay for everything, and it's a very devastating thing. It's a very sad thing.
It's sad. It's so sad
To watch.
Imagine that the highest tax rate went from 35% to 21% when they wanted to go to 28%. Now they're going to go to 28%.
Fortunately, in my administration and through what I did, frankly, and others, but what I did with the FDA is I forced them to move quickly, and we got the vaccine done.
Didn't force them. Well, and I would argue that you talked a lot about them making them move quickly, which is why a bunch of people won't take the vaccine.
In 9 months.
Operation Warp Speed, as it were. Hold on, sorry. That's my bad. All right. Did that actually even be heard? Could that be heard? I don't know.
Instead of 5 years, I don't think it would have ever been done, frankly, because according to their rules and regulations, they would have never had it.
Never. They would have never had a vaccine for COVID, ever. If Trump hadn't been president.
But we got a vaccine done in 9 months, and fortunately...
Yes.
Yeah, so did H1N1.
It's not only going to save our country, it's going to save the world.
Yes, Donald Trump saved the world by himself. By going, I don't know, come up with something. Spend the taxpayers' money just to everybody. Give them all $100 billion each, and just buy whatever they're selling. I don't care if any of it works or if none of it works. Just buy all of it. If one of them works, we'll have had more doses than anybody else. Yeah, I don't care what it costs. And yeah, just spread it, like throw money at the problem. It's not my money. What do I give a shit? Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you brought this up, Mr. President.
Me too.
Because we just heard from President Biden.
We did.
Last week on Thursday, he gave his first primetime speech, as you know, and he said that when the coronavirus first showed up, and that was at the beginning of 2020, when we did have...
No, it wasn't. It was in 2019.
That's
why it's called COVID-19. That's why it's called that. That's where the name comes from. Dummy.
3.5% unemployment rate, as you just noted. But he said that when the coronavirus first arrived, it was met with silence for days and weeks and
months.
There was no word of your warp speed program.
There was no warp speed program during that time.
How are you feeling tonight about the fact that...
What'd she do to her lips? I don't know. I think what you do is you just take a milk jug and then you just suck all the air out of it and it pulls your lips in, and then you just walk around with the milk jug on your lips for like an hour. Vavoom.
You're not getting any credit for any of this by the Biden administration. In fact, even when it comes to the border, Nancy Pelosi this weekend said that the Biden administration inherited the border issues from the Trump administration.
Mm-hmm.
So when you go to the COVID issue, we did a great job. We get very little credit for it. I closed the country far earlier.
Oh my God, this business again. No, he didn't. All three of the major airlines stopped flights to China. 40 other countries, 38 other countries closed the border before we did. 2 more closed it on the same day we announced we were closing, and were closed before we, it was Friday to Monday. He was like, I'll give you till Monday. Everybody can get in the country, which would just bring stuff in. And then he didn't stop trade travel at all. No, it didn't stop private planes at all.
Dr. Fauci and Birx and all of these people that frankly made nothing but mistakes. They didn't want...
Oh, all right. Birx and Fauci made nothing but mistakes. It was, I honestly don't know how those people still have jobs.
Want to do it. They didn't want to close it to China. I closed the border to China. I closed the border to Europe.
We don't have a border to China. We don't border China. It's an ocean.
Italy and all these countries that were having tremendous problems long before they wanted me to do it. And
yeah, it's still not true. I mean, this is the same crap.
If you look at Biden, he didn't want to do it months afterwards, and then ultimately he admitted that he made a mistake in saying that.
No, he didn't. We've been through this before. This is just this is like he's on autopilot. It's like he's got scraps of paper from the speeches from the summer laying around, and he's like picking them up and sniffing them.
If I didn't do that, we would have had hundreds of thousands of more lives gone. But the big thing...
I'm sorry, Mr. There's 14 and it's going to go down to 0?
Is what I've always felt that was the most important is the vaccine. The key was always going to be the vaccine. And when...
No, it wasn't. He kept talking about how cures were more important, or treatments. Remember the treatment idea? Maybe if we find treatments, I think that's even better than a vaccine. Remember, like he said that multiple times.
Biden got the vaccine in December, and on January 20th, he made a statement that he doesn't think we have vaccines. Now, I don't know, did he make that statement as a statement, or did he not actually know we had the vaccine? What's going on there? But he got his shot. He got his first shot into...
He meant plan. We all know he meant plan. But please continue.
On December 21st, I believe. So with the vaccines and with the job we've done with COVID, I inherited an empty cupboard.
Oh, my God. We're going back to empty cupboards. Yes, you inherited empty cupboards. No, he didn't. And you left them that way for 4 years. At what point is it your fault?
Biden failed very badly with the H1N1,
Really? Because I don't remember us having to shut down the economy. And I very distinctly remember Obama getting the shot in December of that same year.
He had a chance to do something, and they had a tremendous failure. H1N1, it was a disaster. And
yeah, the fact that you have to say H1N1, it was a disaster, it means that this disaster is eclipsing it. Like no one is going, well, at least we dodged, having an H1N1 style wreckage during COVID. At least with COVID, we really, so lucky that we didn't end up with an H1N1 kind of pandemic.
And now he's taking over this. What he's taken over, warp speed, we had...
Oh, my God. Why do I have to do that? Captain's log. Okay.
Our military, what they've done in terms of delivery has been...
They haven't.
Incredible.
Yeah.
And we
where are the trucks in Walmart parking lots? None of that.
Gave up to 1.3 million shots a day before he even took over. So not only did we have the vaccine, and one thing we did, we took a big bet on this. We started manufacturing the vaccine before we really knew it worked. We saved many, many months and millions of lives by doing that, because you wouldn't have the vaccine right now
for years and years.
If we didn't take that chance. We knew it.
That's what everybody was suggesting doing. Stockpiling it no matter what, making sure we got doses. How is he, first of all, how is he even claiming that this was his idea beyond anybody else? Like, the FDA was recommending this. The CDC was recommending this. Like, look, we know we're going to get one of these will clear. You might want to stockpile a bunch of them, because the hard part won't be finding one. The hard part is going to be making enough of it, having enough syringes, and having enough people to inject it in people's arms.
We knew that, we felt strongly it was going to work.
We felt strongly.
And we took a risk, and the risk was spending billions.
Who's we?
Billions of dollars to develop it before we knew and before we had the approval that it was going to work. It works incredibly well, 95%, maybe even more than that. It works incredibly well. And
it smells like apricots.
It's really saving our country, and it's saving, frankly, the world.
Trump, I saved the world. That's Trump's new message.
So, Mr. President, I know that you...
the first batches came from Belgium, right? You know that, right? People know that? People know that the first batches that were injected into people into the United States were flown in from Belgium.
Received the vaccine. Mrs. Trump also got the vaccine. Would you recommend to our audience that they get the vaccine then?
Oh, yeah, sure.
I would recommend it, and I would recommend it to a lot of people that don't want to get it, and a lot of those people voted for me, frankly. But, again, we have our freedoms, and we have to live by that, and I agree with that also. But it's a great...
I'm sorry, what?
A lot of those people voted for me, frankly, but...
Uh-huh. Yeah, you mean dummies?
Again, we have our freedoms, and we have to live by that, and I...
Yes, we live by our freedoms. One of our freedoms is life. And in the pursuit of happiness, perhaps taking a vaccine that works and not getting a disease that could kill you when you can obviously... Okay.
Agree with that also. But it's a great vaccine. It's a safe vaccine, and it's something that works. And we've been working round the clock, and what I got the FDA to do, this would have happened.
We've been working round the clock. So he's still president. Like, that's why it sounds like autopilot. The dude is straight up like a COVID long hauler right now, and he's got COVID brain, and he's just living in a loop.
This would have happened in many, many years from now if I didn't get involved, and if we did get involved.
Would you still be sending me a Valentine, birthday greeting, bottle of wine?
Yeah, tell me more about that.
Yeah, tell us. It's really fascinating.
Remember, you were talking about, when you were in office, you were talking about the meeting that you held with the major pharmaceutical company heads, and you were garnering all of their support to work together to ensure that a vaccine was on the market as soon as possible.
Yeah, and they didn't. None of them did. They separated. Matter of fact, Pfizer and Moderna had nothing to do with the development process under Operation Fartsteed. Sorry, 1 second. I don't even know if you can play. Okay. They had nothing to do with it. They were just, we'll sell it to you. Yeah, you want to give us the money up front? We'll take it, but you're not going to be involved in our development process at all. We're not going to give you any information. You're not going to be looking over our shoulders. We're going to be doing, because if what do we, we are obviously dealing with a White House full of people who might have stock in another company. Why would we let you even tour the facility?
Possible. And you said that one issue that you were trying to do was to alleviate any bureaucracies within the FDA. How was it that you were able to encourage a vaccine on the market within 9 months?
Because hundreds of thousands of people were dying worldwide, millions. Because we were looking down the barrel of what was happening in Italy and knew that strain came here. What do you mean? How is it? What's the rush? How is the FDA and the pharmaceutical industries not in a dead heat to do this? Because if they don't come up with it, their customers are dead.
That was quite extraordinary.
Well, I wouldn't say the FDA loves me, but I pushed them very, very hard, harder than they've ever been pushed. And a number of the people in the FDA admitted that, and at the end they were very happy. But they did.
Yeah, they were just so lucky that you were there to push them in the middle of it, as if the deaths weren't enough leverage.
Did not like me. In fact, they wanted to announce it sometime after the election because they just didn't. I think most people knew we pretty much had the vaccine before the election, but they wanted to announce it along with the drug companies who are not fans of mine because if you look at favored nations and all of the things I've done to bring down drug prices, nobody's ever done what I've done, but that cost the drug companies a lot of money. In fact, they took tens of millions of dollars of commercials. So they want.
We watched. This is the same shit we heard last fall. But did anybody see like mountains of the pharmaceutical industry paid for these ads? Like anywhere?
Wanted to announce the vaccine after.
Or were they just funding Lincoln Project? Is that what we're supposed to believe?
And I understand that, but somebody had to do it. You will see drug prices. If Biden leaves it alone, you will see drug prices. Favored nations means we get the price of the lowest.
Oh, God. No, it doesn't mean we get the price of the lowest. Favored nations means the lowest price they'll give to everybody across the board, meaning that if you pay $10 and I pay $5, more than likely, the favored nations will be $7.50. All right.
This nation, whoever pays the lowest, we get that price.
No, it doesn't.
Right now, we're the highest in the world. We will be the lowest in the world, meaning tied for the lowest.
Means everybody who gets is on the lower end will get the
in the world. The drug companies were very unhappy with that. They never thought anybody would do it, but I did it. So with the vaccine, I pushed the FDA at a level that they've never been pushed before.
Oh, God. Everything is the hyperbole. I've not missed this. This is so tiring.
And they got it done in 9 months instead of 5 years. Now, the 5 years I think would have never happened because I don't think they would have ever gotten it done.
Yeah, everybody would have just died. Yeah, they were unbelievable. Like they would, if Trump wasn't there to push the FDA to get it done in 9 months, after a year they'd have just gone, fuck it, let's just let everybody die. I mean, what's the point? It's so weird. Like, hold on. Okay, so let me go back to my me shot, and I want to grab something. Hi, everybody. Hello. Hello, chat room. And I think, let's see. Can I? Is that? I can do this. I can put something on here. Oh, God, his voice is so aggravating. It's pathetic. Okay, so, let's see. Speaks. Mar-a-Lago. Whoops. Oh, dog charity. I should be able to find it. Yeah. Videos. See if this comes up. No. New. There we go. Hold on. I don't know why this doesn't stretch out. I see. Got to open up one of these other screens. Let's see. Okay, hold on. I'll do it this way. This will help. Trump, Doug, charity. Whoops. I'm typing behind something. Charity. Okay. There it is. Okay, so... Oh my God. And, why? This is the one where, like, the pictures came out of him, like, and everybody's going, he looks great, he's getting younger and younger, and it's just gross, and he looks a mess, and this is a charity ball. It's like black tie at Mar-a-Lago, and he shows up in his golf outfit, like it's a military uniform. Oik. Okay, and then I've got to, of course, bring the audio down. We love you, Donald, we love you. Oh, why are they playing YMCA when he comes up? And why does he need so much help? Oh, they just can't get it. Oh, gosh. How are you? How are you? Hello. This lady loves him.
I want to thank Laura, who's been so incredible. And I don't know, you're running for the Senate. I think she's doing
By the way, great camera work. I can see why you posted this.
I want to thank what you're doing. It's so great and so important. I'm with you 100%. And we had many meetings in the White House and the Oval Office having to do with saving and helping dogs.
That's right.
That's all we want to do. And that's
Why does he have teleprompters?
and tremendous progress has been made. We've had many meetings actually on it.
We've had many meetings, actually. Lots of meetings about dogs.
Things that I really would think is possible in terms of some of the cruelty and the horrible things that happen.
And make America great again.
And make America great again. The glasses are killing me, ma'am. Seriously. He's making this appearance, in case you guys don't know, because there's been all these news reports that he and Lara were siphoning money away from this charity. So he shows up to talk about how many meetings they've had. That's where the money went.
That's right. Yes.
She took her room key.
We have a Donald Trump speak right now here in the Big Dogs Ranch. I'm very excited.
I'm very excited.
We love you.
Yeah, super great. Yeah, he's giving you a hi, Betty. Where are we going? There's that news report that you've been stealing money from that orphanage fund, so there's an orphanage charity. We got to go there next, and you got to say the whole "we did a bunch of meetings" thing.
I love him. He's amazing. President Trump.
Ugh. I have to say, yes, it was Borat's mother-in-law, Carl. I think it's the fact that you have you basically a Russian woman in the front row yelling how much do you love Donald Trump. It just doesn't help the messaging. I'm going to go out on a limb. Can I point of order? I'm going to do a shorter show today simply because of the tech issues, and then I'm going to work on it tonight. And I think we'll be able to set up pretty well. And if I stay on too long, it's when this computer will start to get choppy. There's so much stuff. Oh my God! I feel like I'm going to be playing catch up for a week once we get back to this. But I want to go to something I was watching earlier. And there is, I mean, you guys know I watch all these, the preachers that talk about this stuff. And so many people, and by the way, look at, how is this? How is that? Wait. 1 second. Let me bring this up. I'm over here. I'm over here. And shots, where are they? Is this the shots? Where are they? That's that. That's the interview. That's the settings. Don't want to do that. Oh, I need to bring up this. Window. This is so different than the normal setup I use, so beg your pardon while I hum around looking for stuff. Let's see, scenes, there it is. So, check this out. What is Jimmy Dore doing? AOC theatrically gaslights working people over stimulus bill. What? Seriously, what the hell, dude? How, like, I mean, I know Bernie is persona non grata with him now, too. But and 5 hours it's been up 50,000 views. 50,000 people have just lurched to, now, obviously, they're, right-wingers watching a vast majority of it. He's basically sort of like the fix-a-flat Joe Rogan, I guess would be the, but is that not, I mean, that just came up on my feed. That's just gross. So I wanted to show you something that I saw while I was I'm prepping and I'm looking around for stuff online to, that we have to deal with and look at and yada yada. And guys, all the Hank Kunneman stuff and all the preachers come up. And one of the guys that we keep seeing who's been in, let's see, and I got to scroll through this because all right, there's that. Oh, where is it? Yeah, here it is. This is nuts. Okay, so let me see if I can find this. And this is just, I'm going to grab a random piece of this because I was getting furious watching this garbage. So normally, the weirdo preachers don't aggravate me, but there's this dude Wano Savin who's not one. He's like a Steve Bannon type, and all these stories are of him like he drives a Bentley. He's got millions of dollars. He's very connected. He knows everybody, the highest, richest people in the whole world. And you would think that would make him a prime target for Illuminati deep state kind of conspiracy theories, since he only shows his feet in his interviews and all that kind of nonsense. We've seen this guy a bunch of times. Good Lord. So I had to run an errand this morning to go get just some food for the famine. So while I'm driving, I'm like, I'll pop something on and see what shows up in my thing. And this is the first thing that showed up. This is a group called the flyover conservatives. So it's all this poor, pitiful me horse shit. And 107 is their guest. And 107, if you don't know, he's one of the guys that Roseanne had on. Big Q guy, has been lying about this garbage and calling dates for months. And most of it is pretty darn secular. When you hear him speak, the Christian part of it doesn't really come up that much. Until now that he's wrong and that he's been eating shit for months and people are starting to get aggravated, he's doing the same fallback all the prophets are doing, the phony prophets. They're all doing this whole trust the word, it's not me, and do not lay your hands upon the prophets. Please protect, don't beat the crap out of us because we were lying. So I'll get, I'm just sampling a piece of this. I just got more and more pissed.
The moment that begins a certain process.
Wait, back this up. This is he's talking about what the militia, what the military still can do about Trump being president.
For Joe Biden on the 20th of January. The courts failed to act prior to that swearing-in moment, and then have doubled down, tripled down on their position since, with
You mean the law and reality?
Failing to take action with a third.
And by the way, can I just say, with this jackass with his foot up on the desk showing his cowboy boots, like this hack branding exercise bullshit, like I always gotta have a different pair of boots on. People are wondering which ones I'm gonna be wearing. Am I gonna have like this is so friggin' pitiful. And these two, the flyover conservatives, as these supposedly representative of real America.
Attempt by the states to get some kind of hearing, and other Pearsons, Powell and others, with their legal actions over the last several days.
Yeah, he's the boot guy.
So at the end of the day, both Congress and the courts have not seen fit to do anything to push.
You mean install Trump after he lost?
Back on overturn.
My head's in the way? Oh, right. Sorry. Yeah, here, hold on. I'll shrink myself. Oh, no, I'll just move it over. Hold on. Let me do this, because that's really all you need. Yeah, that's his friggin' foot. These people. Jesus.
This digital fraud on America. So with that in mind, the military does have very specific...
Seriously, I mean, what are we watching here? First of all, dude's alone in his office. If he's supposed to be this rich and powerful and knows and is so connected or whatever, and he's never got company, there's never staff around. Even Rudy has some lurkers going around, whatever, his son, a rando hooker, and a couple of pages.
Legal obligations and jurisdiction before turning over the keys if they have knowledge of a crime, knowledge of a Manchurian candidate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What are you nodding about?
If in fact there is information evidence establishing that a Manchurian candidate, somebody who is a proxy of foreign governments.
Oh, you mean like Trump?
Or treasonous.
Oh, you mean like Trump?
Persons, traitors persons.
You mean like Trump?
Who has been installed to become commander-in-chief.
Oh, so we're talking about 2016?
The military has certain obligations that are triggered.
Listen to this. Okay, so this is the idea. It's hard to follow because it's, because it's bullshit. But his argument is that when, on the 20th, when they have awareness that a Manchurian candidate has been installed, they can't just rush up and snatch the dude up, but certain plans, certain triggers, certain laws and regulations go into effect, and then they can get, all right.
At an inauguration moment that begins a certain process.
Yeah, so they had to wait until Biden was inaugurated to make it a real crime.
To withhold turning over certain authorities and controls. They may do some blended thing.
Yeah, like a frap, like a democracy mocha frap with whip and an ad shot. Let's be honest.
While they're working through the mechanics of this.
Yeah, they're just still trying to figure it out. The military is just like, God, and this is my weekend with my kid, and I've got, and like it's soccer practice and all this, and then I gotta, I'm never gonna be able to get to the store in time and then we gotta stop this Manchurian candidate thing. I don't know when I'm gonna shoehorn it in.
Some details, and why would they be slow? Because an action that's wrong would be itself considered treasonous, traitorous.
Right.
So now the military have to arrest themselves. Just keep digging.
Bearing guilt to the point of being a hanging offense.
Bearing guilt to be reaching a level of a hanging offense. Essentially. It's essentially a hanging. I mean, you say potato, I say, hangman's noose.
So
And I think
Anybody
that's really good terminology and
It's so good. It is. You guys talk amongst yourself for a second.
phrasing to do it. I want to just reference something you said there about, signs of things. You came there.
Oh, fucking hell. This is the signs and wonders crowd, which is like, you could tell by the weather patterns, man. You could tell, like, it was raining really hard, and I was like, wow, I don't remember it raining this hard. God must have a plan for this week. Yeah, to make sure the plants don't die.
There for the March 4th through 6th.
Is it quiet? Sorry. It should be loud enough for you.
Window, we live in Kansas City. We've seen our share of tornadoes on Kansas and Missouri both.
Yeah, we have lots of tornadoes, but these are special.
It's a little bit like Jesus said. He says, be aware of the signs in the sky. Be aware of the weather. Like, before it's raining, the clouds are coming in.
Yeah, the cows all sit down. If cows aren't standing, if they lay down, if they're all laying down in the field, it's going to rain.
You can smell the rain. Long before you feel water, you can see the clouds shifting. You can see it getting darker. There's signs.
Yeah, you can see things. Yeah, wind.
Of things going on. And it is foolish to see signs and not look outside and think, hey, is this going to be rain? Is this going to be a tornado? What's the wind shift? And we know this.
And by the way, these are people who see the signs of a storm approaching and get their bathing suits on.
We live here, and what it looks like when there's going to be tornado weather before there's sirens. We don't.
Yeah, they don't even need the sirens. What do you need sirens for when you got Jesus?
The sirens to tell us the tornadoes coming.
Or when there is sirens, which is really interesting because about a week and a half ago, sirens were going off for tornado warning. We went outside and we're like, this is not tornado weather. And it was just actually a test. And we're like, we knew it because we know the signs. We're like, that's not tornado weather.
Now somebody visiting here.
We knew because the sun was shining and there were no clouds, and the news said it was a test. And
from California might be like ready to hit the basement and messing their pants. They'd be like, there's tornado sirens. But because of our experience and our context, we were able to go outside and say, it is windy. This is not tornado weather. These
people are way better than Californians.
Not going to be a tornado. Promise.
Why do you live in Kansas? I don't like earthquakes. All right.
But for you to see the signs, step forward and look in and examine them is just wisdom. Mm-hmm. That doesn't mean any more or less than that. It's stepping in and saying, okay, what are the signs? Why were the hotel rates going up for March 4th through 6th?
Did you hear that? Listen to this shit.
Stepping in and saying, okay, what are the signs? Why were the hotel rates going up for March 4th through 6th?
They weren't. Trump's were. He was hoping to sell stuff to these saps. They needed to make money. This was the only time they were going to be able to count on people coming to stay, and they didn't show.
Why was there money allotted for an inauguration-like event?
Why was there money allotted for an inauguration-like event on March 4th, 5th, and 6th? There wasn't.
Why was this? Why was there that?
Why was there this? Why were these fart air fantasies that fill my head bouncing around so freely, devoid of obstacles?
So you're stepping in and you're gathering these things, and then you put that next to all your other information and you're weighing it out.
Yeah, that's what you do. You weigh the fact that I know that the weather is nice, but I hear a siren because I know that they're going to test the sirens before tornado season starts. And then, of course, I know that Trump is a money-grubbing whore, and therefore that's why the prices of his hotels would go up on a day when he was trying to get instigate his followers to go and murder more people on the Capitol.
And you're judging and testing the times based on the signs.
You're losing 107. His foot's starting to fall off the.
Well,
By the way, I think that's his book on the table.
What was funny was my friend that called over from New York.
Oh, this is good. Okay, I'll leave you with this. This is the anecdote about his friend who called from New York. You have to understand, context is everything. As our wonderful flyover conservatives have just said, where were these in the truffle trees? Yes. So he's going to tell a story about a friend of his in New York who's super rich, really well connected, and listen to the phrase that his friend says.
even when he was asking me about this, he turns around and answers his own question. He says, well, on the numbers, the next date that I'm worried about is 3/11.
So check this out. The next date is 3/11 because he's a big fan of that band, I guess. Or there's a 3/11 in progress, which is, I think, a robbery. And so they thought 3/11 was going to be a date. And now this is Juan. He is patting himself on the back for coming up with a date that is not happening.
And of course, he's understood. There's a numbers component to this combat that will.
Yeah, there's a numbers component to this combat. This is his rich, super connected friend. 3/11. So there's a math part. Listen to what the next part of the math equation is.
We're in right now, and we're using these dates against them. And so he's going, well, it's 3/11, and then if there's 10 days of darkness, and if there's some kind of a emergency broadcast system and everything else, they're testing all this stuff, and then 10 days later would be 3/2/1. That could be the other date.
Oh my God. 10 days of darkness after 3/11 leads to 3/2/1.
But then there's 10 days after that, and that's 3/31, and the 31 is a reverse 13, and it's a 33, and it's the dual numbers. And there's all
he sounds fucking nuts.
all sorts. And he's going on. I'm going, well, I guess obviously he's listened to a few of the presentations I've done. So
Yeah, because he's nuts.
Yep.
give him it, and he's got the paper out, and he's marking all down. Look, there's options that are dialed in from both sides.
Yeah, it's like a game of Battleship.
And at the end, it'll look like it was known from the beginning what it probably was going to be.
That's well said. In the end, it will look like, oh, fuck.
But
I can't even figure,
it was known from the beginning what it probably was going to be.
Think about how stupid you'd have to be to buy into this bullshit for months.
But this is war. This is a battle.
Of numbers.
You're in a
Who can be dumber with numbers?
season. For
Yeah,
example,
Sasha.
when the landing took place June 6th of 1944 or 43 going.
Oh yeah. So he makes a lot of war references to show us that how we dealt with
into Europe at Normandy. The point was you had to, you had to.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter.
To do it within a certain tidal season.
Right.
That's these high tides that were occurring.
Yeah. So Trump is just he's biding his tide.
That would get these landing craft up past all of the
yeah, Connie. Seriously.
Fortifications, these blockages, these metal.
By the way, there's a science. Can I break away for just a moment? There is a science in making an argument that they both use in this that is really infuriating, which is you take something that actually happened and you allude to the structure of what made it happen and compare it to what you're talking about with an affirmative audience, and it raises whatever bullshit you're slinging up to the level of this very important historical or political moment. And so he does this with Pearl Harbor, and then they do it with Moses.
Beams that were out there in the water would help them to land further up this long beach, and there's only certain places you could do a landing in Europe and it would work for these large numbers. And
so we're supposed to understand that there's only so many places Trump can land his presidency back on the White House lawn.
So the Germans knew that any attempt to have an invading army into Europe would have to come at certain places. So they put these huge gun emplacements in the shoreline, these batteries to keep warships further off the coast.
And that's what the Democrats did by having volunteers get out the vote.
Right.
They knew that in their mind, Patton had an army that had been assembled there. And
I love how that comes up as right in the middle of this. Our other interview with Juan. which isn't even his real name.
All these tanks and
I can't. This is so interesting. I don't know why I could. I don't know how I could leave it and go to another one. But I'm glad it's there when I'm done. This is 2 hours.
equipment that were
I'm not doing all 2 hours. It doesn't deserve it. But wait till they kick in.
assembled there for an invasion of Europe. There was all sorts of back and forth trolling between the sides to convince Hitler that the landing had to happen at Calais and that was what the plan was. And so
yes,
great
everybody take notes.
ruses were put in
Totally Juan Pillow.
play by both sides to fool each other about what was possible, what wasn't possible, where it would be, how it would come. But they both knew that there was a very tight window to do the assault, to have the
As there often is.
army moving across Europe during the summer months when you did.
This is honest. I don't know why he hides himself, other than the fact that it allows this kind of mystery bullshit for him to carry. It's bizarre. I'm jumping ahead because it's
knew it was coming, and
it's the same stuff.
The whole world is watching this moment because they know it's not over and it's still coming. I had a aide to a very wealthy person.
An aide to a very wealthy person. So their assistant talks to Juan.
Probably top couple hundred in the world.
Yeah, probably top 200 people in the world. Their assistant talking to you, and because I guess assistants talk to assistants, and you're a former assistant of somebody rich, and you blackmailed them into giving you one of their Bentleys and paying you $5 million, and since you have no skills, you now pose as this nonsense character and sell this bullshit online. That's my guess.
That we had a meal the other day, spent several hours together.
So it was a good meal, I guess.
He flew in from a place where there was some very almost a Cuba-like moment that just happened the other day, and they barely got out. One of the wealthiest people in the world, and it was like a scene from The Godfather with people beating on the cab and security forces working to get.
By the way, these guys always do this. It was like a movie scene. It was like this movie scene. That's the cheap version of the historical reference.
Them out.
The pop culture reference. Dude, it was like the friggin' Terminator in there. That kind of nonsense.
Holding a plane on the ground, commercial aircraft on the ground for an hour and a half while they were trying to get these people to the plane to get on it and get them out of the country.
By the way, this was in the United States. This was somewhere else. Honestly, I think it was Cameroon. But if I had my guess, or Myanmar, those are the two places that this might have, which is why I was thinking of those two places in terms of this conversation. But so, what is this? What is he telling us?
And they were
keep chatting.
Quite thankful to have gotten out in one piece. It was a very
most people are
dire moment. This just happened days ago, and he gets off. He came in town because he knew I was in town and wanted to meet.
So he escapes by the skin of his teeth out of a war zone, and the first thing he wants to do is fly to New York because he hears Wano Savin is there.
Discuss some things.
And he wants to chat.
And so very first words out of his mouth. And you have to...
Oh, this is so good. What do you think the very first words out of his mouth are? This is a guy who's been listening to Wano Savin for months, who's been listening to the Q crowd, who's been listening to the flyover conservatives. What do you think the first thing he asks is?
Understand, this is somebody that's as connected as
connected as you can be.
Anybody on the planet.
But he's coming to Wano Savin, and what does he want to know?
To governments all over the world, industry, business, political.
So the Illuminati.
Everything, military.
A
very connected person. And the first thing out of his mouth, and he had to fly here and wanted to do the meeting. What the hell is going on here?
Seriously? What the hell is going on? Like, That literally he flew there because what is this bullshit you've been selling me? None of it has panned out. You're a liar. That's it. What the hell is going on here? Yeah.
A lot of conversations starting that way.
Definitely.
I don't know what's going on. You don't know what's going on. I don't even know why we're talking to some dude's lamp in his shoes.
No doubt about it.
No doubt. Nobody.
Everybody's always wondering that same question.
Yeah, everybody is. No, they aren't. I'm not wondering what's going on. I know exactly what's going on. I live in reality, as do all of my viewers. That crowd is like, yeah, I know. Everybody I talk to is like, what the hell happened? You told me it was going to be this.
I think about the Israelites leaving.
Nice,
Egypt.
Drywit Geek.
God already had a plan. I would imagine after each plague.
Yeah, he had a plan per plague. That's the rule. That's how God I mean, if you've seen his to-do list, it's plan, plague, plague, plan, plague, plague, plan, like that. It's I mean, you don't never let a good plague go to waste.
First of all, not even all the Israelites were on board with wanting to leave Egypt.
Right. Yeah, a bunch of them sucked.
Right.
They weren't aware of all the things that were going on.
No, how could they be? I mean, they didn't have Newsmax. They didn't have OAN. They didn't have David and Stacy Whited.
I would imagine
Is Whited something that happens to somebody? That sounds like, as last names go, they're the founders of the flyover conservatives.
To the second one, they're like, okay, well, it's going to...
As opposed to Steve Bannon and, Rudy Giuliani, Jeffrey Epstein, and Donald Trump, who were the fly open conservatives.
Oh, that didn't work out. I guess now we're in trouble. Well, then there's a third one.
Yeah.
Well, then that didn't work out. I guess, their emotional roller coaster was
they
probably...
were even emotional roller coasters once they got out of it.
Yeah,
they get to the Red Sea,
They crossed the Red Sea.
Yeah, I mean, guys, what we're going through with losing Trump is exactly, they're like, is this sea going to part or what?
See, they were still emotional roller coaster. And the conversation with your friend that came in from overseas, I think...
Yeah, friend. Not anymore.
A lot of conversations start that way today. What in the world is going on? Because even when you're the closest one in the loop, the closest ones to Moses, we're always asking,
what is going on?
I mean, you can't get closer, than Aaron. You can't get closer than some of these people are like, what is going on? What is happening?
So Trump is Moses, Trump is Aaron, one of those. Don Jr.'s Aaron. Right. And everybody, even the people around him are going up to Trump going, what happened? What is this? What's going on?
And
it's just like Moses. Christ, culturally appropriating the Old Testament. Yeah.
There's always this thing of looking to your left and your right. What's going on?
Yeah, when you cross the street. What's going on?
And does God have a plan? In the midst of this.
Okay. Let me.
Bean Toes, that is exactly what's going on. When you get whited, yeah.
I sent you over an interview I did the other day, and I shared, but some of your listeners might not have heard what I was saying over.
No, they probably didn't.
There, Jen and Prim, and I say Prim. He goes by Prime, but I had to explain to him he was a victim of a public school education. It's actually pronounced Prim. So he had.
I don't know why that's supposed to be funny. This guy says his name is Prime, and Juan O'Savin tells him that it's pronounced Prim. It's a Christian name in that case, so you can pronounce it however the fuck you want.
To relearn how to say his own name, anyway.
What a douchebag.
But let me tell you the story, because in case people haven't heard it, the audio was poor over there on that interview, and I apologize for him. But
well, yeah, can you sit a little closer to the mic? Oh, what mic? You're just sitting there with your feet up.
Anyway, let's go back to Babylon.
Let's not.
Babylon the Great. And a lot of the narrative in the Bible is based around what happened with King Nebuchadnezzar, Daniel himself, who...
The narrative of the Bible. Is it the whole, like Genesis and Deuteronomy, Exodus? That's all basically, it's Nebuchadnezzar. Just forget it. Yeah.
Daniel, this great...
Daniel Tiger from Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. Yeah, understood.
Prophet. He was born in Israel, but Israel had fallen into this deep sin. Here they are.
By the way, what? This man is not a priest or a minister or reverend or rabbi. There's nothing about him that says, oh, well, you know, he has a ministry of some sort. This is his bailout point. I can't listen to much more of this. It's just driving me crazy.
That God had brought out of slavery.
Oh, God. So I'm going to skip ahead. I have no idea how this crap ends, and I want to know.
Unfortunately, you're not dialed in on. And people have made very heavy, weighty, difficult decisions with everything in the world at play, at stake. You're looking at Casino Royale with not just America, but the whole world in the balance. And when you're in a Casino Royale type of a game, you don't cash out at any point until there is a winner of everything that was put into play. You come, you put your chips on the table.
That's not true. If you lose, you're out.
You play each hand, but at the end of the day, you're leaving with everything or nothing. And that's the game that's being played right now by the people that are at the table.
You mean your people who are at the table with nothing?
And this game, the last cards in this game of Casino Royale have not yet been played.
Oh, God. I mean, is this not the most intolerable pile of bullshit?
It's not over yet.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And dude's feet up for, like, this is the lamest.
No.
Yeah, who could, right, Todd, how can someone manage to make the Illuminati boring?
It is what the exact timing is of the last flip of the cards on the table.
Yeah, it could happen anytime, after, in 15 years when Trump's dead and, he could still be president.
I can't tell you, and neither can anybody else.
Okay. The dude has been telling people for months. Now he can't tell you.
Because God himself, just like in the handwriting on the wall moment, I can tell you that stuff is in play. It's moving. It's happening right now. It has been happening.
That's code because he needs to take a shit, by the way. He needs to leave. So he's
planning, the work, everything that has been done, has been being done, has been in play for
That's right, Fiona. No casinos.
Very long time. But this last instant, even the Medes and the Persians could not have anticipated a move of God, an act of God, the handwriting moment on the wall by God himself in that judgment moment. And
look at her. What are you nodding at, asshole? Both of them are like, yeah, so true, so true. He's been gacking at you for 2 hours over and over, like lame pop culture and war references, trying to sell you on the fact that he wasn't wrong this whole time. Then it's just another layer to the plan, man. This is like, even Q would go, I don't know, it sounds like bullshit.
And it didn't even happen as it was happening, truly. That's why there was no vowels, there was no verb to it. It had already, from God's perspective, it was a done deal. And that's when the handwriting shows up. We have to keep that silvery thread of faith in play. If America's people are not praying, if you don't know to pray, if you don't understand.
Yeah, that's why it didn't happen. Trump's not president, not because he lost and because he's a loser and because he failed and because he's a crap human being and a terrible president and all of his policies had a burst of economic investment for a period of time and then crashed afterwards. It's not because of that. It's not that he just felt like that everybody else's tax dollars were monopoly money and he just threw it at it. But he would pre-buy all these vaccines, but wouldn't use the DPA for PPP production or PPE production.
And look, there's 1,000 things that can still go wrong.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. For one thing, like wearing cowboy boots in the city on asphalt and sidewalks, especially when it's winter out. I mean, you're asking for trouble. Unless you're Crocodile Dundee, you're going to slip and fall.
If you know 25 of them, you're a genius.
If you know 25 of the magical things that are yet to happen.
Faith, prayer, don't give up. Don't get butthurt that it didn't happen your way.
Yeah, I think that's in Ezekiel. Don't get butthurt that it didn't happen your way.
Understand that the people that are making these decisions have so many more things and angles.
Dude, it's ninth level chess. You can't even brain like Trump brains.
In play and at stake. And they have decisions that have to be made with so much more than you can possibly imagine on the line. Moving parts. And even then.
Oh, God. Here's a moving part. Fuck.
They know that
they do.
God himself is the ultimate arbiter. You make your best laid plans, you do all of your projections, you check it with computers and everything else. But in the end, a hand of God moment can be the difference and distract the enemy exactly as needed to get you to a complete, total, perfect victory, as opposed to a combat that, even if you win, can be ultimately more destructive even to your own forces.
Oh my God. This is like, now it's like bullshit, like, it's like the refrigerator poetry version of Sun Tzu's The Art of War.
They took Babylon.
You've been babbling on.
Because the Babylonians were also fully distracted at the exact instant that was needed to complete the victory perfectly.
Absolutely. They never, when Moses finally said, "Is this your card?" the Babylonians were like, oh, like a big crowd of them.
And that's our job, to maintain and steward our own individual self. It's easy to look out the window and say, man, this is what everybody should be doing. What I need to be doing is to keep my mind right. Be careful what I listen to.
Be praying and declaring.
How much hopelessness do I hang on to? Which hopeless friends do I need to maybe limit some of their input?
Yeah, get rid of your hopeless friends who are like, Biden won, the rest of the world has moved on. This is ridiculous. You're insane. Juan O'Savin's full of shit. You and your wife need to take a good long look in the mirror and understand that not only have you been lied to, but you're lying to other people rather than face the reality that you might have been wrong, that your ego is so frail that you can't even recognize when you were wrong about something and correct something that simply.
Into my world. One thing we've tried to be very conscious of is there are many voices, not one, not two, not three, many that are declaring God said this was going to play out a certain way.
Yeah, you mean the people who are listening to you dickhead?
And they've not blinked or changed their mind. We listen regularly to Kat Kerr.
Oh shit. Oh no. You guys remember Kat Kerr? She's the woman with the froyo hairdo. That's who they're referencing? Guys, in case you don't know who Kat Kerr is, hold on. I've done a couple of videos of her stuff on here, but this is Kat Kerr. Hold on one second. This lady, who is a complete lunatic. Like.
Of things. So these are brand new, and everything we have is made in America.
She's selling stuff at the, like, it's
rather, because we're over it, not under it. If we're just learning this, why would he wrap everything up? This is what God says. I will not have a weak, pathetic testimony of my son's death. That's right. And all he gave you. I'm not taking anybody anywhere until
I'm going to pull this kingdom over.
Operating like him.
Yeah. Until you guys start acting exactly like Jesus, even though he was a extratemporal human being who can't actually die, who only went through the motions of death to show you that death wasn't the end of life. If you don't start acting like him, and I guess casting money lenders out of the temple. I guess. All right. That's, by the way, just so you know, that's who they're talking about.
We listen regularly to
Johnny and
Elizabeth Enlow. Listen regularly to Robin Bullock.
Yep.
We listen regularly to.
Oh my God, Robin Bullock's the rock and roll preacher dude.
Hank Kuhneman.
Oh my God, and Hank, you guys, it's just like a list of the worst people to list. It's like a list. If you had a list called Wrong.
And
Steve Schultz of the Elijah list. And
the Elijah list. They post all of those guys' stuff. I know, because I'm accidentally in the algorithm with these dickheads.
This cowboy named 107.
This cowboy named 107. All hat, no cattle. I'm, by the way, for the record, I don't know that anybody will end up in their camp ever see any of the stuff that I do, because I don't know why they would. But if 107 ever sees this, or anybody who knows of him or knows him personally knows this, I'm calling you out. This is the biggest pile of bullshit. And the damage you're doing, not just to the idiots who listen in the general pop, but to even these folks who are gullible enough to buy your horse shit, is gross. It's grotesque.
We surround ourselves
with assholes.
You have to protect that. Like, I wouldn't let somebody with dog poop on their shoe come walk into my home and wipe their feet.
No, but you'd let him spoon feed dog shit right into your mouth, and your wife would sit there doing this on your lip to make sure you didn't miss any.
You have to protect your space around you, and not,
you mean your bubble,
not partner with hopelessness.
God.
Because I can promise you, God has not given up on this country.
No. Why would God give up on any part of creation ever? What does it have to do? What does any particular stage in a country's growth or in the world's growth have to do with whether God is ready to check out or not? It is such an infantile view of what it would mean. Like, you can just tell that this is their projection of what God should be thinking.
We're not abandoned. We're not forgotten.
He's not chewing his nails.
He didn't fall off his throne.
Nope.
He's not frazzled. He's not.
He is a little frazzled sometimes.
Oh, I didn't see this coming. I didn't know. And that is where our hope lies, not in an individual, not in any one specific person, but in this plan.
But in 20 individuals who've been fucking lying to everyone.
That's working around us, that has been foretold, and we are living in the moment where prophecy is being played out.
No, you're not. You aren't. You self-important asshole. You're not. You are not living in a moment of prophecy. As a matter of fact, every prophecy from every person you mentioned on your list has failed to come to pass.
Living in the most incredible moment in time.
Well, yeah, but that's just because I have a show and I'm on all the time and I'm really fun. And I'm not afraid of you. So there's a certain, joie de vivre, as Albert Finney would say.
I wouldn't want
Best time to be alive.
I wouldn't want.
Well, I mean, do you know another?
Want to live at any other intersection throughout human history than right now.
Okay, he was very right now. Okay, I could die because that was it. That was the moment. It just passed.
This is the most exciting time. This is the time that's going to be written about. We're going to be legendary in the future for being able to tell the stories.
Yes,
of
you were going to be a legendary in the giant book of assholes. Guys. I mean, come on. Look, I know I have a healthy ego, and I have a lot of fun about my own personal worth in the world. And it's only because I try to set a standard where I can live up to. So it's like when I go out in public. I've told you this guy before, but when I go to a counter and people go, "How are you?" I go, "Awesome." And they're like, "That's great." And I'm like, "Well, yeah, why would I leave the house if I wasn't? You deserve better." That's my point. Don't leave the house unless you're going to be awesome. There are other people out there and they deserve awesome. So that's what I do. But the fact, listen to this dickhead. I have to play that again.
We're going to be legendary in the future for being able to tell the stories of how this unfolds.
Can you imagine being that full of yourself And the way you got full of yourself was by stuffing your head up your own ass. That's amazing. Think about this dude, because he's not just talking about we were here to see God's grace. We were here to see God's moment. We were here to see it when these things came to pass. No, we're going to be the ones. We're Mark and Matthew and Luke and John. That's what he's talking about. He thinks they are the new gospel. Can you imagine being that much of an egomaniacal dickhead?
And I believe that.
22%.
I believe that like I believe the sun's coming up tomorrow. I don't, and I can't even put a finger.
First of all, I mentioned Albert Finney, and he brought up Annie. I'm just saying, sometimes, obviously, I'm here to witness some of God's greater moments, and he wanted me to be alive to see them.
Not exactly why I believe it, other than...
I don't know why I believe it, other than, well, the sun came up today, and it came up yesterday, but all the other stuff I'm talking about and making comparisons to the sun coming up tomorrow didn't.
I've protected myself from hopelessness.
Oh, you have a hopelessness rubber.
So good, so good. So Juan, thank you
That
so much
that
for your
silvery
time.
thread is the hope. The silvery thread is the hope.
The silvery thread is the hope. In that cloud, the silver lining.
Lose that silvery thread. Don't get lost in despair. Don't give up. Faith.
Yeah, keep having faith and keep sending money to 107's fucking website or whatever. Buy his stupid book or something. Do they have a link to this? This is what they write on the page. This is not over, and we are about to have a writing on the wall moment. Jerry Nellico with Flyover Conservative Podcast. Yeah, that's just all their stuff.
Yes.
Not in men, not in machines, not in military, not in politicians, not in money, but God himself. Whatever the plan is, yea, though I walk
trust the plan.
The valley of the shadow of death, I shall fear no evil.
You don't walk through the valley of the shadow of death, and neither do they. They live in a nicer area in Kansas City. They have a studio. They have a tax-free ministry. You've got some sort of like gold lamp office where you put your feet up, where no work happens. You wear your bullshit hat all the time. What are you talking about, walking through the valley of the shadow of death?
We are in a near-death experience moment.
Oh, God.
It's not death experience.
Yes.
Because
no, it's near death. It's semi-death. It's a semicolon death. It's the death of the colon.
We'd never get back, but we are seeing what life under these demons. We're tasting and smelling, feeling the grip of their claws on our shoulders, on our
yikes, dude.
Being. Don't get lost in that.
No, just enjoy it. Embrace it. The lizard claws on your shoulder as they try to drink the spine juice of your babies.
That silvery thread of faith, that's what you have to hang on to. Don't get lost in it. And the near-death experience is a gift,
isn't it,
from God to understand what would be if we did not have him to reach out to call on if he wasn't there.
All right, did that make any sense? Seriously, did lizards ate my balls?
America's only hope is God in heaven.
Yep.
Even with the best laid plans, even with the best guys, if you're not dialing in a God component to the victory here.
Yeah, you need a God. You need at least 12%. You got to chip God in on your takes in Casino Royale. The house always wins, and in this situation, God is the house.
Victory at all.
Wow.
Wow, that is so almost a sentence.
That is powerful.
That's a drop.
It is so powerful, and it might be that I am a complete sap, but also
Thank you so much, Juan.
Thanks for being here, Juan. And really, can I have your doodles?
Again, we just really appreciate your time. We value that.
We value your friendship.
We do. And I know
What friendship? Asshole won't even show his face on your show.
It's been a regular part of Flyover Conservatives.
Yeah, I know our listeners do too. They love you and just really appreciate you so
Well, yeah, of course. They come for the bullshit. They stay for the horse shit.
much. It's fun to look at the comments because there are so many great things that people say. And
Oh, are there? Let's see. Where's the... Okay, there's the video. The situation. Comments. Trump won. Thank you, Whiteds and Juan. I am watching from Romania, and I am so grateful all those who set up this plan. Words can't express enough my gratitude. Wiggy wiggy. God bless. In Jesus' name, let those who hold command through our military stand up in righteousness for fear of God. Do not fail, we the people. I don't know that is that comma appropriate. It's hard to even say. God's will is of no concern of this Congress. Jerry Nadler. I had not heard this. Am shocked we're not hearing more about this. Unbelievable. God's will is of no concern of this Congress. If we keep our eyes on Jesus Christ, we will have no fear, only faith. Trust in God. I discovered all this years ago, and I'm friends with 2 intelligence agents, retired, Dr. Steve Pizanik and Robert David Steele, who have greatly enlightened me as well. I am in OSINT, the Open Source Intelligence Agency, but I figured out a lot of it on my own before I had any sources. We are nearing the end of this revolution. We will win, folks. The proof is in the blockchain, and the military will not let us down. Be patient just a little longer. Thanks, Deb. Candida itrum, which I think is, if you have that, get a salve. President Trump never conceded. People are getting angrier by the day. They seek resolution. Battle hymn of the Republic. Mary Beckham likes this. She edited it. She changed something. Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord, stamping out the vintage where the grapes of wrath are stored. We know he's coming. Pray without ceasing as you see the day coming. Joshua and Caleb, truth bearers. Godspeed. Trump's day is coming. Godspeed, Trump. There truly is a silver thread that tethers us to God. I have a picture of my daughter 3 weeks before she passed giving a homeless man some money. I took a picture and noticed when we took the picture the thread was going from my daughter up to the clouds. Believe in the unseen, faith will carry us. Oy. Make no mistake, my friends, Jesus Christ has all power and authority. Definition of all? And who did he give it to? Are you awake? I believe you are. Are you awake? I believe you are. Use your power, use your authority. Casino Royale. The game ends when someone has won everything and every other player has lost everything. We pray for the hand of God to bankrupt the darkness totally. I love 107. I can't get enough of that man. Prove he's a man. I don't know that that's true. He could be using a pitch shifter. All we see is a left hand and a foot. Everything he talks about is always substantial. Really? Abomination. That's what Obama is about. He's pure evil. Wait, what year is it? Still standing with President Trump Plus and may God bless America. Oh, Trump Plus is like Disney Plus or Apple TV. Great. Thank you guys. Let's not get lost. Let's not get lost in the sauce. Oh, is that Marty Landau? Is that Lanny Walnuts'? Well, yes, wake up and show up. Love to you all. Prayers. I could listen to Juan's stories all day, and I can't. You're stronger than I, Carol Jameson. Vicky Finnegan. God wins, and I'm lucky to have a front row seat of this miracle, that it's right in front of our eyes to witness. God has won. Remember Melania's dress on that last day. Jester pattern. April Fool's. April 1st. Really? April 1st is the next day. Christ, man. Yeah, they're still pissed about Obama. I'm in Canada and I follow Juan. Thanks for all your service to humanity. It's kind of stupid here, a lot of brainwashed peeps. I've been away for years. Go Patriots. On and look at this. On and on and on. Just... The whole thing was about Satan trying to infiltrate the gene pool that Christ was to be born through. Huh? The whole thing was about Satan trying to infiltrate the gene pool that Christ was to be born through. That's adorable. I never heard the gospel the way I'm hearing it now, and my dad was a preacher. I'm hearing the true gospel. Now, thanks to Juan, Troy Brewer, Greg Laurie, I love to listen to them. I can't get enough. My thirst for the gospel is unbelievable now. I used to think it was boring, even though I've always been a believer, but I can't get enough of it these days. I really appreciate Juan telling us about all this. Much love. Heart Cross. Yeah, your video just made my day. Wigga wigga. God bless all patriots. There's a lot of repeaters in there. I can't, these folks, I'm done. Hold on. I like, how in the world do they expect? Yeah. Madness. Just simply madness. And by the way, with the background, there's my burn. With the background, you really can see how long my hair has gotten. It doesn't really, you can't really tell with the gray background as much. It's pretty nuts. What a wonderful read the Bible is. You know, there's a lot of fine stuff in there, but it's tribal, so there's a lot of crap in there too. And yeah, there is no, like, and again, I don't know why people have a hard time confronting these idiots. Both the fake prophets and the faux Christian ministers, the MAGA church crowd, mixed in with 107. Like, we're supposed to fear what he and Mike Flynn are capable of doing, or something. Like, you don't call those people out. It just, yeah, man. I don't get it. I'm going to sign off tonight, guys. I'm going to try and get my setup closer to normal for tomorrow. I'll work on it during the day and late into the evening after my kids gone to bed tonight. So, and I think it should all work. So, fingers crossed. I'll work on it a little bit. I may not have a green screen behind me, obviously, but I'll be able to do a version of the show that's closer to what we have, and it won't cook my computer. Yeah, they have not read the Bible, Carlene. They've read the red parts and the underlined parts that were given them. Yeah. You are gesturing. Boop. Come here. Come here. Come here. Say what you're going to say. What were you going to say? Time? Okay. All right. I agree. It's time. All right. My kid has come to salvage me from the internet. All right. I love you guys. I will see you guys tomorrow at our, let's see, tomorrow, because of East Coast time. Yeah, tomorrow I'll be on at the regular time, the 4 o'clock time that I normally do. So 7 Eastern, and we'll make it through. So yeah, fear not. All right, I'm going to sign off. Peace and be wild. I will see you guys later. Rest well. All right. Yeah, he came and grabbed me. Yeah. All right. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Have a great night. Thank you guys for joining me. And thanks for being understanding during this holiday trip this week with the family. So, all right. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.